And welcome to another episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm still John.
And we are here with episode number 19, and we're going to be talking about Survivor Series. That's right. Yeah, it's the Thanksgiving tradition that is Survivor Series, so I'm pretty excited for that. But before we dive into Survivor Series, we are going to take a step back and do a little segment that we like to call Breaking Kayfabe. That's right, everybody. I'm pretty excited. We got some interesting news to talk about, so let's dive right into it. So Renee Young, Jon Moxley, you know them. John loves the Mox. He loves this guy. They recently revealed that they are expecting their first child. Look at this happy couple right there. Such a happy couple. I mean, he never looks happy, but you know, she looks happy enough.
I was going to say, he looks so happy.
So, John, what are your thoughts on this?
You know what? Just pull that picture back up for 1 second. I feel like that's the exact same face he made when she was like, "Baby, we're pregnant."
You know what? You're probably right. That's the face you made?
my exact words when I found out I was going to be a dad, she texted me. She's like, "We're pregnant." I was like, "How many tests have you taken?"
Fair enough. Enough.
As far as them being parents, man, congratulations to Renee Young and Jon Moxley. There is no joy like being a parent in today's society.
You know what? I agree. It may be hard as fuck sometimes, but I love being a dad. So
absolutely,
yeah.
We could do an entire podcast episode on being dad. So
it's true. It's funny because apparently Mox let it slip during one of his promos on AEW. So I didn't watch the actual promo, but I was like, when I was reading the article about it, it said that. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, that's one way to let it slip. I thought that was cool. But yeah, definitely congrats to the happy couple, and I hope that everything turns out well for you.
Oh yeah, may your first child be an immaculate child.
Sure. All right, so our next story, not as heartwarming, I guess, but still a good story. Mr. Xavier Woods is going to G4. Now, for those of you who don't know what G4 is, G4 was a gaming cable network back in the day. I think it ran from like 2002 to 2014, something like that. And they did all like gaming stuff, and did various shows and things like that. And so apparently they made an announcement that they were bringing the brand back in 2021. And there was a social media hashtag going around. It was hashtag Creed for G4. And they saw it, they took notice, and now they are bringing Xavier Woods into this relaunch. The head, I think it's like the CEO of the company, went out and made a statement. It says right here, it says, "We could not be happier to welcome Xavier to the family and introduce the first member of G4's new cast." He said, "The list of on-air talent with advanced degrees in psychology, unbridled passion for video games, and multiple WWE Tag Team Championships is not long. We loved Xavier's creative hashtag Creed for G4 campaign and cannot wait to showcase his many talents throughout G4's developing slate of programming. Xavier stands as a fantastic first representative of an exciting and diverse team that will be assembled for G4 and will be introducing in the coming weeks and months." So, John, were you familiar with G4 before this?
I mean, I knew of G4, never really watched G4. I mean, I like gaming and I like being part of the whole gaming community, but I didn't really know much about it.
Yeah, I watched some G4 back in the day, way back in the day, probably like at least a decade ago. Probably like shortly, right around its birth, you know, like when I was started college, which was in 2002. So like those first 5 years of the channel, I watched stuff on it, but then I kind of fell away from it, and then it went away. So I'm interested to see what kind of stuff. I guess it's going to be multi-platform. So they'll probably have a cable network. They'll probably have stuff streaming and do all kinds of other things. So
I think it's weird that Vince would let him do G4.
I don't know.
I mean, Vince is making all these other people get. I don't know. I can't.
Now, the only thing I can think of is it was cleared through Vince. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's got to have been cleared through Vince, but it's the same thing with his Up, Up, Down, Down channel. I'm 95% sure Vince bought the rights to his Up, Up, Down, Down channel because now WWE Shop is selling a shit ton of Up, Up, Down, Down merch, including replicas of the Up, Up, Down, Down championship.
And you know what? Vince allowing this to happen, I wouldn't be surprised if his goal is to sell more of that kind of stuff. Have him on a place where gamers are, and they'll, maybe he could plug that kind of stuff theoretically. Maybe they made some sort of deal.
New video game.
Yeah.
What is it? Gears of War, right?
Gears of War.
Yeah, so I mean, New Day is going to be featured in that. Why not start branching out a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. So I find it interesting. Obviously, I think the main thing that Vince doesn't want is them doing their own personal stuff. You know, where because he can probably keep a little bit of a leash on him as to what he can and cannot say. You know what I mean?
I mean, probably
with this, but
it's all money.
Yeah, it's all money. So, but I'm interested. I'll probably check out something that he's on. We'll see how it all goes. All right, our next story up is about Miss Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart recently opened up about being sexually abused as a child. She was on Lillian Garcia's podcast, Chasing Glory, and she opened up about this traumatic childhood. She said, I had a pretty rough childhood. She bounced around, from her mom's to her dad's to her friends' houses at a real young age, and dealt with a lot of sexual abuse. And apparently she revealed that her uncle had sexually abused her and is still in jail because of this, and that it still affects her, which, rightly so. So, John, what was your thoughts on her coming out about all of this and kind of putting it out into the public?
I mean, I think it's kind of cool that she came public about it. I think it's really cool, though, too, that in the same article she says that she hopes women and young girls and stuff that have went through this find her and talk to her about this because she's very open about it. And she would love to help them move forward with their situations. The more I read about Shotzi Blackheart and the more I really discover about her as a person, the more that I just love her behind the scenes as well as I love her on-screen personality. Yeah. I think there's just something about Shotzi Blackheart that I feel she has potential to be one of the ambassadors for multitude of things, but I don't think the WWE quite knows how special she can be. And she kind of reminds me of a young Edge. Look at Edge back in 02, 03. Nobody quite knew what Edge was capable of. But in 2006, when he pinned John Cena and took the fucking championship, everybody was like, oh my God, Edge is this greatest fucking wrestler ever. But people who knew it before then knew what Edge was going to be capable of.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah, and they definitely, that's the thing with the unique people in the company. They have a hard time figuring out what to do with them.
Dude, absolutely.
And I don't understand why, but I think it's just because Vince is so stuck in that mindset of the classic type of wrestler that anybody who steps outside of that mold kind of gets shafted a bit. I mean, he's over here, pushing people like Chad Gable, he is talented, but he other than being kind of short, he's that typical, just basic looking wrestler.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Really nothing special about him.
Push guys like Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and that's why Bobby Lashley's getting this giant kind of push, things like that. It's all the same. It's all the same stuff for that. So
I will give Bobby Lashley a push too, but he's going to go over a bridge and into an intersection. I'm just saying.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Maybe into a river. Let him swim his way to safety. See if his pecs can take him all the way.
So what you're saying is you're going to push a black man into a river and hope he can swim.
Dude, you were going to push him into traffic.
Yeah, at least where I'm going to push him, there's a chance there won't be cars coming. You're going to take a chance and hope that somebody knows how to swim.
You're taking the chance that he ain't going to get ran over by a car.
That's the chance I'm willing to take.
Or die from the impact.
I mean, yeah.
Just saying. Most likely he ain't going to die from the impact of water, and hopefully he can swim. That's his own problem if he's that old and can't swim yet. I'm just saying. That's his own problem. So, all right. So next up, Chelsea Green. We all know Chelsea Green. Here she is. That's right. She has broken her wrist yet again and is undergoing surgery for this. She put out a message not too long ago. I think it was on her Twitter. And she said, well, tonight was bittersweet. I've seen her. No, so it wasn't her who put it out. I can't remember who put it out. It was somebody else, but I copied this down. It says, I've seen her get told no by WWE to getting hired, to doing nothing in NXT, to finally getting an NXT match, but breaking her wrist during it, to getting surgery, rehabbing, coming back, and still doing nothing, to getting called up, to going back to NXT, to getting called up again, to debuting on Raw, but it was a taped episode and segment was cut, to doing nothing, to finally debuting on SmackDown tonight, but breaking her wrist and needing surgery again. I believe it was Matt who wound up posting that. So, John, man, this girl just can't catch a break. Like,
I'm just saying that at this point, it's a freak accident. It happens. I feel really bad that it did happen twice. Yeah. Not once, but twice. That's shitty. Yeah. Hopefully she can get a fast rehab in. Hopefully this isn't going to stop her from wanting to get in the ring. But maybe while she's retraining, she can learn how to fall on the floor properly.
Well, I mean, I didn't see how it happened, so I can't judge on whether it was her fault or not. I don't know. I'm assuming by the way it was, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, without actually seeing how it happened, I'm not going to assume.
I could see it being Nia Jax's fault.
You never know. It's very possible.
Nia Jax wasn't even in the ring, but I'm going to blame Nia Jax.
I mean, you never know. Maybe she made a surprise appearance. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. As for our final piece of news, I think this is probably one of John's favorites. I don't know. I'm just guessing. We had a surprise appearance on Impact Wrestling recently. The one, the only, the nominal one, AJ Swoggle. That's right, Hornswoggle was there, and he was all dressed up as AJ Styles. Look at this. It's hilarious. I mean, I love it. In all
fairness, he looked like AJ Styles.
He totally did, man. He rocked the shit out of that. I thought it was great. Everything he did in the ring was hilarious. I know you and I talked about it a bit, and you had wished that he had tried to do the Styles Clash. And
I mean, even if he physically couldn't get Ethan Page up, even if he just got him on his knees and was positioned with the arms out, or had went up to the top rope and had Carl Anderson hold his hand and he walked out to like the middle of the rope and then jumped for a phenomenal, I would have loved to have just seen a couple of the moves.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like if Carl Anderson had helped, he probably could have pulled off the Styles Clash, and it would have been hilarious. I think it would have been awesome.
In the ring and puts his hands on Ethan Page, it's a disqualification.
Okay, then maybe like after the match. You know what I mean? Like it just would have been hilarious to see, and it would have been that like extra little dig. You know, since they're already digging in on AJ Styles, I think it would have actually been really, really kind of fun to see them do that. But
I know, I completely agree.
Yeah,
I thought it was well done.
Good, yeah. So did I. You know me, I'm not big on Impact, but I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was
Well,
really
I
cool.
texted you when I heard that they were teasing AJ Styles, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. And then I found the extra article that was like, oh, it's going to be Hornswoggle. And I told you as soon as it happened, I was going to be on that shit.
Yes, you did.
Know.
And yes, you were. And it was damn funny. All right. So that wraps up all the news I got, John. Is there any other news that you have that you want to bring to our attention at all?
I think your beard looks mighty fine today.
Ooh, thank you. Yeah. I was conditioning it last time.
One sexy motherfucker.
Fucking
that is not recognized on this show at all. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, let me describe Josh and just let me paint you a picture. He's got this glow about him today. Like, he's just got this glow to his face, and he's got this beautiful head of hair that is just nicely pulled back into a ponytail. And if you guys have ever watched Clerks, he kind of looks like what you would assume Dante would look like, with like a painter's ponytail and just a scruffier beard.
Okay. I've never been compared to Dante. That's a new one for me. It's usually Weird Al or the lead singer of Coheed and Cambria.
I get Coheed.
Or that one football player with the crazy hair whose name I don't know.
You're talking about I know who you're talking about. I cannot remember his name.
He's got the crazy hair. And occasionally Jesus. Not saying I am Jesus, but hey, they want to call me it.
Same room with Jesus.
It's true. You never have. You never have. All right. So that wraps up Breaking Kayfabe. And now it is time to get on to the normal part of our show. And for today, we're talking Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah. Best of the best.
That's right. Die like the rest. Isn't that how it goes? I don't know. The EST of WWE. No.
First off, you can't talk about her without backing up a little bit. We got to talk about the pre-show.
And yes, I can talk about her if I want, but yes, we should.
I know she was on the pre-show, but before she was on the pre-show, let's talk about the Paul Heyman promo that opened the pre-show. And ladies and gentlemen, Paul Heyman representing Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit how much you want to shit on what Roman Reigns is doing right now. That Paul Heyman promo was absolute fucking mint.
Dude, it was, man. You know, just the way he's like, Roman Reigns is the THEE, the champion. I was like, ooh, I like that.
There are not many points in professional wrestling anymore where I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, woo. And especially the last few pay-per-views, I have almost fallen asleep through the last couple. But that promo left me with goosebumps.
Yeah, man. It was great. And it was a great way, I think, to start off the pre-show as well. Like, that was
a hell of a kickoff. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he can shit on Drew McIntyre like a vegetarian who just drank Mexican water.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, he's shitting on him like crazy. However, he's not doing it in the typical, like, oh, you suck kind of a way. It's just he's like, you have a title, but you ain't the champion. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Call him a placeholder.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay, you went out and got yourself a belt. That's cool. But you're the WWE champ. You hold the title of the company. Good for you. But Roman is the universal champ. He's the champ of the people. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
All right. I understand what they're trying to do with the whole pushing Roman Reigns to the moon and back. He is the universal champion. He is the champion that represents the entire universe. But at the same time, Drew McIntyre is the longest. I can't even say longest, but he's the WWE champion. That title has been established way longer than the Universal Championship.
It's true.
And he beat Randy Orton now twice to become the champ. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. But again, hell of a promo, nonetheless.
No, it was
Hell of a way to kick things off.
No,
they did some other stuff throughout.
They did.
Random just pre-show crap.
I was really confused by the Bianca Belair natty poppin'. It almost seemed like it was scripted, but it wasn't. And it was
obviously, they had Bianca Belair out there to talk about the women's match. I thought it was an interesting choice to have her out there, seeing as wasn't Bayley supposed to be the self-proclaimed
captain
of the team?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seemed like an interesting choice. I was like, okay.
And then seemed like Natty was drunk when she came out. Like she's all, like kitties.
Yeah, it was definitely odd. I feel like after that, the pre-show just kind of got off the rails a little bit. Especially, it went a little off the rails, especially with the next person who winds up coming out, which we'll get to. But I don't know. It seemed weird because then like Natty was claiming she's the captain too.
Yeah,
it's like
it was just there's dissension in the ranks. I get that, but they were projecting that the SmackDown women's team was way more together than the men's team.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it was just stupid. And like you said, after that, it just really fucking went down straight.
But okay, so you watch the pre-show, and it's like, is the SmackDown women's team not on page with one another? Because the Raw women's team already wasn't really on page with one another, at least with one person. So why are they doing this type of a thing with both teams?
Who knows?
They did it with the men's Raw team as well. I don't understand why you have to do that. It's not just because you get a group of people who, yes, some of them are heels, but they should be able to just work to that common goal and just get over themselves. And reusing that exact same thing, because as far as I know, the SmackDown men's team wasn't like that.
No.
I didn't see anything to that effect. But
not once they got together in the ring, no. But I know there was some during the build up to Survivor Series. There was a little tension there.
But it's just it's like, why you got get over to this? We don't need this for every single team. It's unnecessary. It's so repetitive and. If you want to do it for one or two of the teams, one of the men's teams, one of the women's teams, whatever, okay. But all four teams then? That's just it's stupid, in my opinion. It's just, I didn't like that they continue to show that if these teams just don't get along. You should just be able to put your shit aside for, a night or for a few weeks even or whatever and just get shit done. It doesn't need to be dramatic like that.
In my personal opinion, that's one of the problems where you've got mixed teams of faces and heels on the same team. You're gonna have that problem. But they've been doing it for years now.
There's plenty of times where heels and faces have worked together and not had this problem.
True.
Not like this. And then on the Raw men's team, it was two of the heels who were fucking. Being idiotic toward each other anyways. So it's not even the fact that it's heels and faces. It's just shitty heels being shitty heels and acting tough for tough's sake. It's get the fuck over yourself, man. I hate that. The whole first off, why does there need to be a captain? There doesn't need to be a captain. And if all you're doing is fighting, then obviously that means whoever the captain isn't doing a good job anyways.
Very true.
So what's the point? I don't see the point of that. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic here. We got a quick little clip backstage of Rikishi with Jey Uso. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought that was actually really well done.
Yeah, so when he comes out later on after the event and everything, I was like, oh yeah, Rikishi was there. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Because I remembered seeing him during this. So I just thought that was kind of neat, and I wanted to mention that.
No, I thought it was actually really cool to kind of show him back there with his kid. You know, obviously Jay's got an important match on the evening and a lot riding on it.
Yeah. Whole lot. And we'll talk about how that goes down.
Yeah.
Then, as they're talking about the Lashley Zayn match, Sami Zayn comes out talking about just wanting the respect that he deserves. He took some subtle digs at the United States, which I kind of thought was funny, but I don't think it was scripted, because the reaction on some of the people at the table.
They were instantly trying to cover that stuff too. Like they were like, wait, whoa.
And part of me wonders if that's why they're like, yeah, we got to go to break now.
I mean, I don't like the fact that they just cut him off the way they did.
Yeah.
I assumed that it was a planned like commercial break because they did have that commercial ready to go.
I mean, maybe, but it just seemed real awkward. You know,
his whole segment was awkward anyway.
It's true.
I mean, he coattailed Paul Heyman's promo. He did you're the United States champion. You can only be the people of the United States. Where I'm the Intercontinental champion. I'm the people of the world. And okay,
but you got to put that on the writers, man.
That's true.
You got to put that on the writers. That ain't his fault.
That's true.
You know, because the WWE, I feel like they're pretty strict about what they allow you to say. They're not super
allowed to write their own promos, and I know he's not on that list.
Yeah, they're not super improv-y as they used to be.
No.
Like back in the Attitude Era, when you could say whatever the fuck you wanted.
That's true. You could be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go out there and milk a cow." Shelton Benjamin's mama.
Shelton Benjamin's mama. Oh,
that's right. I called Shelton Benjamin's mama a cow. Anybody wants to tell him that? I'll be the guy cracking necks in the parking lot.
You can reach out at John's phone number, 867-5309. Call it while you can.
And it's simply seen J1 on Twitter. Tweeted at Shelton Benjamin. His mom is a fat cow.
There it is. And that wasn't the last of the special guests to pop in to the pre-show. We had our resident pre-show guest here. Of course, R-Truth came out. But this time, he knew he wasn't on Raw Talk. They were like, this is Raw Talk, right? And he knew he wasn't there. He came out there for a reason. He wanted to commemorate the superstar who was celebrating their 30th anniversary.
Yeah, phenomenal superstar.
That phenomenal superstar. And the fact that he never said his name, I was like, oh, this is not going to be The Undertaker. And it was not. They played a video of the Gobbledygooker. That's right. For those of you who were previously unaware of the Gobbledygooker, well, now you're quite aware. Now look at this. Look at this fantastic bird. Look at this fucking little blue and red and yellow bird. Man, it's the Gobbledygooker. And as you can see down there, new 24/7 champion. That's right. Because the Gobbledygooker came out and took down R-Truth for the title. That's right. I thought it was. I gotta say that part of it I thought was pretty funny. The thing as a whole. I mean, I'm getting a little bit tired of the same thing every pay-per-view. R-Truth coming out and doing all this, but I've kind of rambled on a bit about it. So, John, you got something to tell, brother?
I know it's a little early, and I'm going to bring it here. But let me tell you something, brother. I'm getting fucking sick and tired of R-Truth, and I'm getting really tired of the missed opportunity with a guy who actually still has a lot of potential and a lot of fuel in the fucking tank. But I do think that there was a couple of really funny moments with this segment. One of which was the moment where he's talking about playing with John Cena action figures during the debut of the Gobbledygooker, and they're like, "Wait, you were playing with John Cena action figures in 1990?" And he goes, "Yeah, but you couldn't see him." Funny, okay, it's funny,
dude. I laughed so hard during that line.
But the fact of the matter is, you have a superstar who is still really great at what he can do, and you're doing
Yeah.
absolutely nothing with him except fucking trading off title victories to jack that number up on the 24/7 7-Eleven Grand Slam Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am Championship. And it is
Yep.
getting so fucking annoying because now he's in the 40s. He's in the
Yeah.
40s.
As we'll talk about later on, he gets another win later on in the night, and they say 45 is what they say.
I was gonna say it was like 45 or 46.
Yeah, they said 45 time 24/7 champion. So
like that's fucking ridiculous. That is like you can take any of your take your top 3 world heavyweight title wins, like your John Cena, your Ric Flair, and you can take Triple H, and that doesn't even that almost makes it.
I think those 3 would be 46. But
forgive me. So the 3 biggest reigns ever are just one more than one reign for fucking R-Truth.
Yep.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It is a little ridiculous.
Let me tell you something else about the whole thing. It's not even like he's getting decent matches for this. It's literally he drops the title and 25 minutes later he gets it back. It's not like he's fucking putting on fucking marathon matches or anything like some of these other champs. It's almost like a slap in the face of some of these guys. And you knew Drew Gulak was under the gobbledygooker thing because when he wins the 24/7 championship, he puts his hands up and screams, "Oh yeah!" You can fucking hear it.
Yeah.
Oh!
Now, my question is, who the fuck is the masked ref? Why is the ref masked? You know what I mean? Why isn't it just one of the refs?
Corona.
I don't understand why. But yeah, man, I just want to know who that fucking that ref is, that masked ref. I don't understand why they're masked.
Too many people in one area. He didn't want to catch COVID.
But it's I can understand wearing a mask, but it's like ski mask where all you see is his eyes.
He wasn't taking any precautions, bro.
I'm just
go to a diner and sit down at the table.
And I'll be honest with you, this ref didn't quite look as in shape as I feel like he should. I'm
Maybe
just saying. Who?
D'Lo Brown.
That would be pretty funny.
All right.
Man,
so let's talk about the match that happened on the pre-show. Let's talk about the Inner Brand Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to spoil things by talking about this match the way I'm going to. So I'm going to say it like this.
I mean, this match has been out for a week now.
That's true. I don't like being that guy still, but let's talk about the entrances. There were a lot of decent names in this match that didn't get entrances. And the final 2 people they bring to the ring are Rey Mysterio and The Miz. And I was like, and John Morrison, obviously.
Well,
because he's come out with Big Boy. And I was obviously like, well, fuck it. One of those 2 are obviously going to win the fucking Battle Royal. And we know it's not going to be Rey Mysterio. So obviously, The Miz is going to win the Battle Royal.
I mean, I get that.
I was really impressed with Dominic and
Chad Gable.
Yes, they put on a hell of a match in that.
No, dude, they did legit. There was some decent stuff within that match, but then when it came down to Mysterio, to Dominic and Gable, dude, they put on a show, and I really enjoyed what they had going on.
They were trying to show that they were 2 guys who were newer. Well, Gable's obviously been there for a while, but he's trying to reestablish himself, obviously.
Yeah.
And between him and Dominic, man, they were trying to show you that no matter who they were or how long they've been there, they were going to give it to you guys.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, Miz comes in at the end, dumps out Dominic, he wins. And
I didn't have a problem with Miz winning for the simple fact that they allowed Dominic and Gable to shine for a while. You got to see what they could do, but then they're putting the Miz higher in the company now. They're pushing him, and I like that because I have been a Miz fan. You've known this. I've been a Miz fan since the get-go, and I like seeing that. I like seeing him get a push. So
no, and I get they're trying to make him more of a main eventer and they're trying to make him look like he's an established dude. So I get it. And I thought it was an interesting way. Like, you don't really see people come back under the bottom rope and like get kicked out usually. So it was different. And that was nice. Also,
and oh yeah. And how did you like? What did you think about Jeff being in the Final Four?
I mean, Jeff is one of those guys who, no matter who Jeff Hardy is fighting, he makes them look good. And he's a ring veteran. So obviously, he's going to be one of the guys who can get in there and like make sure things are directed good. So I think he's one of those guys that like they had him in there just to make sure, like, hey, make sure things go smoothly just in case.
Yeah, he was kind of like the ring general for that part of the match. Yeah, I think that's probably right. And there was one other thing that I thought was interesting that I didn't know. The commentators were talking toward the beginning of the match, and they said that Murphy is the boyfriend of Aaliyah Mysterio. Did you know this? I didn't know this.
Yeah, this is an on-screen angle they've been doing now for like a month.
Okay. I haven't really watched much SmackDown, I'll be totally honest.
And you really need to keep up with at least the highlights.
I probably should. I watch more Raw than I do SmackDown.
Yeah, he turned on Seth Rollins and has been dating Rey Mysterio's daughter. And now there's that whole angle going on there. He's getting a lot of shit about it, though, because she's like 19.
Now, are they actually dating, or is it just, do you know, or is it just...
I think it's just kayfabe, but...
Okay. Do you know how old he is?
He's in his 30s.
Oh. Yeah, that's a little weird. I'll be totally honest. Creepy. That's a little weird.
Alexa Bliss tried to defend it, and she got shit on.
Yeah, I mean, she is legal, but, you know, it doesn't stop it from being creepy. You know what they say, half your age plus 7. Even if he's 30 on the button, you're talking 22. If anything younger than 22, and that's kind of creepy. And I mean, if she's 19, it's definitely kind of creepy. You know, just saying. It's not illegal. It's a little creepy. You know, guy. Is what it is. And then to one of the last things about the Kevin Owens, King Corbin kind of interaction backstage. They talked about how the team is a mess. Corbin making promises that I was like, I doubt he can keep any of these promises, but you know, whatever.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
And Kevin Owens just not interested. Then Billy Kay comes out, tries to get some career boosting through Corbin, who's just not interested. And she even has a resume. She even has a resume. Now, Natalia posted the resume on her Twitter feed, and I happened to see it just before we started. And it's pretty good, man. And like, she's got, you know how I said your phone number was 867-5309? That only popped into my head because that's the phone number she put down on the resume.
That's great.
And like, one of the skills that she put down is something like essentially to the akin of she's really good at talking, kind of a thing. Like that's what was one of the things. It was pretty funny. If you get a minute, I'd say look that up. It was pretty.
I hope that nobody who can really do anything pays attention to this part of the podcast, because I have Dungeons and Dragons listed on my resume. I have it as a team. It's a leadership building exercise, like a twice weekly get together with a bunch of friends and try to strategically work out problems.
It's fantastic, and I love it, man. That's great.
So let's talk about Survivor Series, the main show.
Yes.
So they curtain jerked with the 5-on-5.
Really quickly, John, before even any of that, there was something I wanted to mention. Because I had to rewind this to be like, wait, is this what they actually showed? And it was a short tease for Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I knew that there was talks about her possibly coming back around Survivor Series. Obviously, she didn't come back tonight. However, they showed the short tease, so it seems like maybe she's on her way to coming back soon.
I hope.
So, real quick, thoughts on her coming back. I know you're not the biggest fan.
No. No.
Now, I
I
won't
hope
have a
she becomes
problem
a
with her
hangman.
coming. I don't have a problem with her coming back as long as she's not instantly put into the title picture,
She will be.
which
She's a
she
player.
probably will. I understand that, and so I'm probably not going to like her return. But if they don't do that, then I'm fine. Let her just kind of do her thing. Whatever. Team her up with somebody. Maybe you know what? If she wants to have a tag team run with the titles, I don't care. That's
Billy Kay
fine.
is her tag team partner.
There you go. She's got her resume.
Headshot, resume.
Oh, it was so good. I loved it. But yes, John, go ahead now and you can talk about the
All right.
pace setter.
So they talked about the opening match, the 5-on-5. And I have a couple really weird notes to start off with. One
Okay.
being, let's talk about Keith Lee's new music. I thought that was
Okay,
more
yeah.
fitting to him. Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
I dug
hell
it.
yeah, new music. Who the fuck is coming out? And then it was Keith Lee. And I was like, hell yeah, okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Two, did you notice the station logo placement?
I
Never
mean,
before
didn't
have they
stick out to
done
me.
Survivor Series where the Raw and SmackDown teams have the company logos on the back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd realized that it had never happened before.
Yeah.
But
So
I
it's
was
a
like,
plot
oh, hey,
twist there.
they've got their respective networks. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my first real note of the match. What the fuck, Seth Rollins? Like,
Oh my god, dude! Like, now there was an article. Okay, so for those of you, obviously, I would hope that if you're watching this, you probably already saw the show. But if not,
hopefully.
Kevin Owens tagged. He tagged himself in, and then Rollins insisted that he go in. So okay, so he let him good. He let him go in. Then he turned to his team and he was like, "This is for the greater good." Then he kneels down and tells Sheamus to do his part. Takes
Yep.
a boot and is eliminated right then and there.
Immediately.
Yeah. So there was a story that came out as to what the possible reason for Seth Rollins getting eliminated so quickly was. John, do you want to dive into this?
I mean, I will. I will. So, rumor has it that Seth Rollins just does not want to work with Matt Riddle at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, there's reasoning to it, and I didn't fully read the article all the way through. I
mean,
I get
apparently he's been pretty open about his issues with Riddle in the past, and that he has no intention to work with him. I don't know if
he just doesn't like him.
yeah, he really like. I don't know if it has to do with like the stuff that happened with him and his with Riddle and his wife and all that, and maybe Seth Rollins is like, you're not a good dude. You did that stuff. You're not a good dude. I don't know. I have no idea. But he apparently does not like him. Now, I don't know if he went to Vince and was like, listen, if you're going to have me in this match, then I need to be out first because I don't actually want to be in this match. Or if he took it upon himself to just get eliminated. I don't know how it worked. You know what I mean?
Either way, that was one of the first times I've ever seen something like that done. And I was like, God damn.
Yeah. And I want to know what, because I mean, I feel like I didn't watch SmackDown yesterday, but did you see any highlights or anything? Did they reference anything as to, did they go back to this? Okay. Because I'm curious.
Honestly, I was spending time with the little dude, so I didn't have a chance to.
I'm curious if they, if they're going to bring this up in some way, because with him saying, it's for the greater good, and telling Sheamus to do his part and all this stuff. Like, are they going to turn it into some sort of storyline? I'm curious.
What was really weird about it was, though, Sheamus almost looked like he had no idea about it because he looked just as shocked as everybody sitting at home probably was.
Yeah, so
his legit face was like, okay, boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and I'll say what, man, Rollins took that kick like a champ.
Only way to take it's in the mouth.
But we go on and we see some interesting stuff throughout this match. Kevin Owens went on like a stunner palooza right before he got eliminated, which I thought was pretty funny. And then fucking man, I remember when on our last episode we talked a little bit about like our predictions for it, and I was like, you know what, man, with the way Raw has been acting, like the team Raw has been acting so divided, I was like, they're probably gonna lose.
Yep.
And they didn't even come close to losing, man.
Nope.
They had a fucking clean sweep here. And I'm not a fan of that. What were your thoughts on all that? Because I wasn't a fan of the clean
I wasn't
sweep.
a fan of it either because there was no like back and forth about it. Like they didn't even lose one guy. And the last time I can remember something like that happening was like 2006, 2007-ish, and that was when DX teamed with the Hardys and CM Punk.
Yeah.
I know it might have happened after that, but that's the last time I can actively remember it. And the only other note I really have for this match was that fucking powerbomb by Keith Lee. God damn.
Dude, he's good. He's real good. I gotta keep a good eye on him.
Considering Raw got the clean sweep, I thought this match was okay. I didn't think it was honestly that great of a match, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be totally honest. I thought the pre-show match was better.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the truth. I'm not saying it was bad, but I think the pre-show match was better.
I agree.
So. All right, and that brings us to our next match, and I gotta say, this was a hell of a match.
Dude, this was a great match.
It was, man. It's the New Day versus the Street Profits, dude. I love this match. I loved seeing Big E coming out with them. I thought that was great. You know, they're decked out in some custom Gears of War armor type gear.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And they showed the trailer for Gears of War too, which I got to say, I thought that was really cool. However, so the New Day comes out, then they cut to this trailer. Then they go backstage to the Street Profits, who are talking about the legacy of Survivor Series and of the Undertaker. And I'm like, New Day's already out there. Why the fuck are they cutting to them backstage now when they should be coming out to the fucking ring? Like, cut to them before the match starts. Show them talking, doing all this stuff. Then go into the match, have New Day come out, or honestly, Street Profits should have just come out first, then New Day, and then show that trailer, and then they get into the match. Is how I think it should have happened. Yeah. I didn't like. I didn't like that they just had this long stretch of promo when they should have been in the fucking ring. I don't know. I think that, like, I love the match, but that part of it, I was like, not so much.
I thought the Street Profits promo was phenomenal, though.
Yeah, it was.
That have recognition. I thought it was a great promo.
It was just not placed properly, in my opinion.
And I completely agree. I think it should have been Street Profits promo, the trailer, then the New Day come out dressed in the gear, because that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Because at first I'm like, okay, so they're dressed up like Gears of War, so what? And then they roll the trailer and I'm like, oh, it's a product placement. Okay, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah, it would have made way more sense if the trailer aired first, because then you would have seen them in the trailer, and then it would have came out and be like, oh shit, that's the gear from the game. That's cool. Yeah.
But I was like, whatever. And then, like I said, I texted you and I was like, did Angelo Dawkins lose fucking weight? Because he looked fucking trimmed.
I think so, man.
And I'm like, good for him, man.
Yeah.
But this match, let's go back a couple of months when the draft happened. These two teams were both the tag team champs when this happened. And because WWE didn't want them to fight it out, they just swapped titles with one another. So this is the first time since the draft that these two teams have come face to face. And yet, this is the first time the Street Profits and the New Day have wrestled one another. And I was like...
dude, it was a wild match.
Dude, it was a phenomenal match. Like
Yeah.
I can't go below phenomenal with my rating for this. And I
Yeah.
loved that it was two face teams facing off, going like the best of the best with one another.
Yeah.
And
Just putting on a good show.
the one moment that really made me go, "Oh shit," was when Montez Ford hit the Trouble in Paradise on Kofi Kingston. And I was like, "Oh god, he just used his own move on him. That's typically a heel thing to do."
Yeah. But dude,
Wow.
that fucking blockbuster at the end.
Yeah, dude, that was a great blockbuster.
Dude, it was so good.
I thought it was
Oh
kind of
man.
funny that they referenced Dolph Ziggler with it because he's been used in the blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, man, you need to throw credit back where credit's due at a point like this. And you need to be like, somebody's been studying a Buff Bagwell tape.
You know it, man.
When I think of the
Buff
blockbuster,
Bag-
I don't think Dolph Ziggler. I
No.
think of Buff Daddy because
Mm-hmm.
he's
All
buff.
day.
He's the stuff,
Stuff.
and chicks just love him.
Oh yeah, man. Fucking A. That's
So
exactly what I thought. That was what?
that was Macho Man.
You know what? I don't care.
You said, "Oh yeah."
Oh, oh yeah.
You were like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "No, that was Macho Man."
I'm gonna snap into a Slim Jim.
And it's not like they won by like a big margin. No, no,
Yeah.
they won by like just a couple seconds. Like literally squeaked out this win. And the thing that I thought was really cool is that after the match was done, they get up and both teams shake hands. That is a rarity in game of anything. I don't care if it's face versus face, heel versus heel, or if it's your brother fighting your brother. There's never a fucking sense of respect anymore. So it was really great to see, and kudos to both teams for pulling that shit out.
100%, man. Yeah, I loved how they kind of put themselves out. Both teams. I thought they both did a fantastic job here. So, all right, then we get a quick backstage segment with both women's teams for the night. SmackDown. They look to be on the same page at this point in the show. And then, but Raw, not so much. Nia tells all the other girls that Lana is not to be tagged in during the match. And I'm just like, what the fuck? If you really don't want her in there, then just let her get pinned. Like, what's the difference? What is the difference?
I would have made her the first person that gotten her eliminated somehow then.
Yeah, and it's like, so Nia and Shayna Baszler took out what's her Mandy Rose.
Yep.
Because she was originally part of that team. Why didn't they just do that? Like, I understand that Nia has tried to beat down on Lana, but Nia, like I said, she already took out her and Shayna already took out Mandy Rose. So why didn't they just take out Lana in the same way?
Well, they took out somebody else. They took out Dana Brooke too. Well,
Retribution did that, but why not just beat her down in the same kind of way and really take her out?
Who knows, man?
Really didn't want her in this fucking match. Like, the whole storyline to this is just ridiculous, and it's. I understand, Nia's this big bad heel, but I can respect a heel. I have zero respect for Nia Jax. I have respect for Shayna Baszler, who I didn't used to, but I don't have respect for Nia Jax. I just do not like her I don't like her personality. I don't like her in-ring, which, I mean, we'll get to all that when we talk about the actual match, but this backstage promo and hearing them be like, "Oh, don't tag Lana in," it just made me. I literally was like, "Fuck you!" I literally said that to my TV as I was watching.
I'll talk about this before we get to the match because this really upsets me in a way because WWE for years has pushed anti-bullying.
Yeah.
Now she has not only fucking bullied the shit out of Lana, she's put her through 9 fucking tables. She's countlessly and now she's like, don't tag her, girls, girls, don't tag her. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, unite for the fucking brand, if anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, we'll get to that during the match.
Like, there's a difference between a heel confronting a face, you know? There's a difference between that and bullying, which is legit what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I do not approve in any way, shape, or form of that. So, but yeah, they did that, and then it wasn't even. I thought it was going to be their match.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Because I was like, well, why are they already backstage like that, like all huddled up, ready to go? And when there's another match in front of them, and there's actually there were two matches in front of them, and so I just thought it was a weird placement for it.
Technically, three.
Yes, technically there was another one. But next up, we got Sami Zayn, who's the Intercontinental Champion, versus the U.S. Champion, Bobby Lashley. Now, I got to say, this is probably the best match involving Bobby Lashley that I have seen in months. And that's all thanks to Sami Zayn. He brought it, man. He brought it.
I will say that.
And he did exactly what you said he would do last episode. And it was awesome.
I love that he did it. But the thing that really upset me is there's two things about this match that pissed me off. For one, they booked it as a one-on-one, and it essentially was a 4-on-1. And I don't think that was fair to Sami. I think this match would have been a lot better if the Hurt Business wasn't around the ring. Yeah. Second thing that they did that I did not like is that they played the boy who cried wolf. Like, he's like, oh, they're doing this. And the ref's like, hey, they're not doing shit.
Even one of the commentators was like, I saw it with my own eyes.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the match.
Yep. And, well, that was the thing, though. That was when they actually did do something. When they finally intervened and put his hands on him, he's like, yeah, they did something. But it was too late because Sammy had already cried wolf like 7 fucking times.
Yeah.
But I'm like, of course, the ref is fucking blind to everything until he doesn't have to be blind anymore. And I get it. I'm shitting on the ref for doing his job. I'm just saying I would have booked that match differently. Instead, all you did is make Sami Zayn look like he doesn't deserve the fucking championship.
Well, it played into the personality that Sami has kind of built lately.
Yeah.
Of this, I feel like whiner is kind of the wrong term, but it's kind of that, where he whines about a lot of stuff. And with the powdering out and everything, and constantly getting distracted by the Hurt Business. And it's like, that's exactly what the Hurt Business wants.
Absolutely.
They want him to get distracted and get off of his game. He's just falling right into their into their ploy. And yeah, it makes it look like he doesn't deserve the title, which we know that he does. But current Sami Zayn, the incarnation of Sami Zayn that we are seeing, probably does not. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
There's a lot of things right now I could pick apart about Sami that just doesn't sit well with me. One, I don't like the current look of Sami Zayn. And I'm not saying the pants with the beard and everything. I'm saying he looks like he hasn't hit a gym in months. Like, he looks flabby, he looks out of shape, and he does not look like he should be in the ring with anybody right now. And that's coming from a guy who obviously hasn't been in a gym in a very long time. But I'm just putting it out there that the Sami thing we saw about a year and a half ago is not the same Sami we are seeing now.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
I'm not fat shaming him because it's nothing to do with his size. But he just looks
soft.
Yeah, thank you.
He doesn't. And unfortunately, that's true. We saw that from another person, toward the end of the night. But he's not a current competitor anymore.
Sure. The sad part is though. So we're picking on him, about being a heftier guy now. Like he's putting on some weight.
And it's not like he's fat. Like I said, he's just a little pudgier.
Well, yeah. Like you said, soft. SAWFT.
He's a little
We're
soft.
Couple of haters.
But I'll be honest, he held himself pretty damn well in this match.
Dude, up until the 4-on-1 got on him, yeah. I mean, that was like you said. That was probably the best match I have seen from Lashley in the last few months. Yeah, and I will stand by that statement.
And I think it's because Sammy actually put up a fight as opposed to just that person just letting Lashley squash them. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, absolutely. I mean,
squash matches don't make Lashley look good, in my opinion.
No,
they just don't.
He's reverse Goldberg. He can go for a little bit longer and make it look more viable for him.
Yeah. And like he was still manhandling Sammy. Like chucking him around like crazy and looking really powerful. But Sammy was still getting in good offense, and it made the back and forth look good.
Oh, absolutely. You know?
Yeah, so I was actually surprised. I didn't think Sammy was going to win, but it at least gave me the thought, was like, well, hey, maybe he could like squeak out a win here. You never know. And that I prefer those kinds of matches where I don't actually know who's going to win. That's what I want. You know, I don't want to know right off the bat who's going to win. Like that's not as fun.
No.
You know? No. You don't want it to be super predictable. Like give me a little something, you know, I don't know. But yeah, so overall, you know, not like I said, the best I've seen of Lashley's matches in quite some time. So
I can agree with that.
Yeah. All right. And then so we go backstage and the Usos standing outside of Roman Reigns' locker room. Roman and Paul Heyman come out. Roman kind of shows, you know, showing his power, showing his status to them. Tells Jimmy to get out of here, but Jay has to stay. He kind of talks to Jay about, you know, the fact that he lost his match, his team didn't respect him, and that if he can't make them respect the family, that he has no place at the table. John, what did you think of this little backstage segment?
See, that wasn't the line that sat with me out of everything. Roman said something that really made me go, wow, I liked that. He looks Jimmy or Jay dead in the face, and he goes, "You couldn't even make your team respect you. If they don't respect you, they don't respect me." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like that's deep. Like, and not deep because it's the family thing. That is deep because he's like, "You're a fucking nobody, and I'm the fucking champion. If they don't fucking respect me, what the fuck am I doing holding this belt?" I'm like, God, yeah.
And apparently last night, Jay got kind of fed up with the way Roman has been belittling him, but did not take it out on Roman.
Took it out
on Otis.
Well, good. And, I mean, Otis. Oh yeah.
And apparently beat him down with a chair.
Good.
Yeah. So like,
I'm sorry. Right now, Otis can go away and just. I don't want him back.
Aww, back that's NXT. Sad.
Send him to NXT UK. I don't even watch that one.
I like Otis, but I get, you know, why you might get kind of
the fat guy in a pair of underwear going, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah."
Like he's the funny fat guy. It's like the equivalent of Chris Farley as a wrestler at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay, listen. I'm going to make a proposition to you. Okay. Let's take the redneck character of Otis out. And let us put the Butterbean Dream in his place.
Buttercream Dream. Dude, that'd be baller. Skew! Love it. That'd be fucking awesome. But you know what? You know what Otis needs? Otis needs a revamp in the way that Husky Harris had a revamp.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because Husky Harris was Otis without all the humor.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was that same kind of thing. Big dude, wearing barely any clothes.
Yeah.
But fucking pretty damn good in the ring. Fat, he's quick for his size. Like, surprisingly similar in those ways. And I think that I mean, I'm not saying go the same route that they went with Bray Wyatt, but I think he needs a repackage. I really do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe take him off air for a little while, get him injured and take him off air for a little while, and then bring him back repackaged. Have him no more silly humor, no more like all this kind of almost dumb, almost like bordering on Festus territory kind of intelligence. I just have him be vicious.
See, I think that's one of the things that bugs me about a lot of the party fun guy gimmicks, because WWE never knows how to play it right. And they had the character with Adam Rose, and they had so much potential with that gimmick to where he's in the ring and he had the fun entrance. He'd get up in the ring and, I mean, he was a good promo guy. He could talk, he could wrestle, he looked good. And the thing is yes, he's a party guy. And I get that. But the thing is all they would have had to have done was cut a promo one time where after he had got his ass handed to him, he's like, you know what? I can't party all the time, but the party will go on when I'm not in the ring. But you can't be a lemon. Be a rosebud. And then he just goes out there, and when the bell fucking rings, he kicks ass. Everything about the party is left behind, and all he is focused on is his match. And I'm not saying it has to be Festus level where he's like, and then the bell rings, he's like, but I mean, like, you go out there and he's like, hey, I'm going to kick your ass tonight. And then he whoops her ass.
You sounded Australian there.
That's the point. Adam Rose was Australian, man.
Oh, you were still doing Adam Rose. I thought you were trying to do Otis.
No, I was trying to do Adam Rose.
I thought you had switched over to Otis, and I was like,
follow my promos. Yeah, I'm jumping everywhere tonight. All right, let's talk about the next match tonight, though. Let's talk about Asuka representing Team Raw against Sasha Banks, Team SmackDown, Women's Champion versus Women's Champion.
That's right. Dude, these two work so fucking well together.
I mean, this match wasn't half as bad as I was expecting it to be, considering this is like the 90th time in a year they fought each other.
And, but, I gotta say, Sasha's really showing that she can hold her own now.
Yes.
Like a year ago, I wasn't really all that impressed with Sasha Banks. But now, I dig what she's bringing to the table.
The one thing she needs to dial back is she relies on certain moves way too much.
Yeah.
She hit Meteora like 9 times in this match. And I'm like, I get it. Good fucking move. You can use it in a variety of ways. You can do it from the top rope. You can do it to somebody seated in the corner. You can do it in like territorial, like off of something. But I'm like, at some point, okay, we get it. It's the fucking Meteora. Calm down.
Yeah, no, I get that. Expand. Don't become John Cena. Expand your moveset.
Don't limit yourself to that. Like, rise above it.
Yeah. There's lots of moves out there.
I was, however, glad to see that she got a clean win over Asuka. There wasn't any cheating. There wasn't anything like there was no asterisk next to this win. It was just a clean. She beat her.
Yeah, it was a surprising win to me. Just like that, kind of like almost like a quick roll up type thing. Like, I wasn't expecting it to end that way, but it gave Sasha the win while still allowing Asuka to probably look stronger than
even Sasha. In my notes, I have it written as what I call a surprising upset. It's not that I didn't expect her to win. I didn't think she had it in her.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I get that. And I will say this. Asuka continues to prove why she's one of my favorite wrestlers. Just saying. She continues
I thought this match overall was one of the better matches of the night.
Yeah.
It was impressive and fresh for them fighting as much as they have lately.
Yeah. That's the thing. Usually, when you have two people who are fighting a lot, it gets kind of stale after a
Yep.
while. And it's not like this was for a title or anything, you know. So
Nope.
like the stakes weren't as high in that aspect, but they managed to still rock this one out. I thought, yeah. All right, so before we get into the next scheduled match, we had a little backstage segment. John, one of John's favorites. He loves these. I think that he likes these better than any other match that ever happens on any other pay per view.
I hope you get a show tonight.
So we saw Tozawa take out the gobbledygooker and win the 24/7 title. And as he wins this, R-Truth sneaks up from behind him and whacks him in the back with a big old bag of birdseed and takes it back with the 45th time. Yeah. And this is where I realized, I was like, wait a minute, why is the ref masked? And that's why I brought it up earlier, because I didn't realize it before. I was like, wait a minute, the fucking ref is masked and he looks kind of pudgy. Who the fuck is this?
Maybe it was Otis doing double duty.
I didn't look that big. Dude, if it was Otis, his shirt would have been like up here, man.
The stripes are slimming.
Fair enough. If that works, I'm gonna be wearing stripes all the time. But yeah, what did you like? I know that you're not the biggest fan of the stuff that they're doing here, but I will say that birdseed spot was pretty funny to me.
Well, first off, that bag of birdseed had to have at least been a 45-pound bag.
Yeah,
so
it was a big old bag, man.
For getting hit by like a 45-pound like weight, essentially.
Yeah, man. Because me and you have lifted and shelved those at places that we have worked.
Oh yeah.
Like a 45-pound bag of birdseed, you feel all the weight of it. Like it's all there, man.
It's a dead lift.
Yeah, and getting whacked with one of those, I mean, it's not going to kill you or anything, but I don't think it's going to necessarily feel pleasant.
Probably
but seeing all the birdseed just kind of go. I laughed at that because that's all I can do.
I had to clean it.
Yeah, that's true. But that's all I can do in these is laugh because it's like they're so fucking stupid. So it's like I might as well just laugh at it because otherwise I'm probably just gonna get angry at it. I don't know.
I mean, they're just at this point though, 45-time, 24/7 champion. Are you fucking kidding me? There are guys out there who are trying to make fucking careers for themselves who can't even get television time. But we can fucking spend 10 to 15 minutes on R-Truth and his 45 fucking title wins.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will have stuff to say about the time spent on this later on. Yeah, because there's something specific that I'm like, they should have spent time on that they didn't. But I'll get to that toward the end. It's when we talk about the final farewell.
Oh, don't even get started.
Well, we'll get there. So next up is the second Survivor Series match, the Women's Survivor Series match. So we have Raw with Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana. Well, I mean, I guess technically Lana. Now, like I said, Royce and Evans were added. I think this past or like just right before the pay-per-view, because Nia and Shayna took out Mandy Rose and Retribution took out Dana Brooke. So I mean, I thought that they were both good additions. I'm glad to see Peyton Royce on the pay-per-view because like we talked about last week or last episode that Vince kind of had a change of mind when it came to her. So I'm kind of glad to see her on this team, to be honest with you, because it gave her some screen time, and I thought she showed some pretty damn good stuff here, especially that fucking superplex that she did to the outside of the ring. Come on, man, that was damn good.
Oh, it was. I'm waiting for you to reference the other one, though.
Oh, I will.
They gave a shout out to somebody that I thought was kind of funny because of it.
Oh, maybe I missed it then. I'm not sure who you're referencing about a shout out. Who did they shout out?
The Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger.
Okay.
She locked a tarantula in on the ropes, and they were like, "That's a
Okay.
perfect 10." Because
Oh,
she
I
learned
didn't.
it from
I
Spears.
didn't even hear them say that.
Yeah, it
Huh.
was literally a shout out to her fucking husband because he taught her how to do that move.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I didn't even hear them say that.
That was another one of those moments in the night where I was like, "Why the fuck are they crediting him though, not Tajiri, who made that move famous in the United States?"
Yeah, because that's all I was thinking. I was like, yes, the fucking Tajiri action, but
Well, and that's
yeah, I
what
didn't
I
even
thought when
notice
we
that.
walked it in. I was like, "Oh, Josh is gonna mark out for Tajiri," and then they're like, "Huh, that's a perfect 10," and I'm like, "Fucking smart mark joke."
Oh man, that's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm sad that I missed that. To be totally honest with you. But
Would you have
they
gotten it though in the moment?
what?
Would you have gotten it though in the moment?
I think so.
Would
I
you have
hope that it
known
would.
that he was married to Sean Spears and Sean Spears was Ty Dillinger?
I don't. I didn't realize that they were married.
Oh,
So
I don't
I
know if
don't.
they're married, but they're at least engaged.
Okay.
Or there's something.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were together. I guess I should say. So I don't. I wouldn't have gotten that aspect of it at least. I hope. I'd like to think that I would have, but who the hell knows? I might not have at this point. I and like I said, I didn't even hear them say it. So obviously, I wasn't paying enough attention to what they were talking about as I was watching it. So, they made a statement that apparently Lana is the only one who actually earned her spot on this team. I thought that was really interesting, especially with what happens at the end of the match.
Yes.
So then we got I said the Raw team. Then we got SmackDown with Bayley, Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Natalya. And I thought Lana did actually pretty damn well in the one little bit of time that she actually had in the match. I mean, I thought she did pretty decent. I don't know about you.
Why don't you talk about your view on the 5-on-5?
Overall, it was not what I hoped. Like you mentioned, because you watched it before I did.
Yep.
And you mentioned to me that there were a lot of botches. And dude, I just kept seeing them and seeing them. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. It was bad.
I couldn't.
Like they weren't able to like fix like a couple of them either. Like it was like they missed it. And usually we're like you'll try to like spin the wheels and get back into like a sync. No.
Yeah. Because like I saw Shayna Baszler botched a kick at one point and then had to do it again. Natty botched one of her moves. I don't remember what the fuck she was going for. I think she was trying to do that bridge submission that she does. She crosses the legs and then but like the legs just popped out or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then something that bothered me, Lana in the match, right? And she's holding her own against Natalya. She has Natalya and she brings her over to the fucking corner and nobody tags her. Like, if you want Lana out of the match, then fucking tag her.
Yeah, and that's a perfect way to get her out.
She has Natalya just ready to get beaten.
Yep.
And instead, nobody does, and they just let Natalya go back to her corner.
Yep.
And it really frustrated me watching that, because I'm just like, I don't give a shit if you don't like her or whatever. The point is to win this fucking match. And if you want her out, then fucking tag her out and go in and beat the shit out of Natalya. Don't let her go back to her corner and tag out.
Like,
what was the fucking point of that? It pissed me off so much. I was so angry during that part of it. And I mean, there was some good stuff during the match. Bianca Belair did some good work. Lacey Evans had a pretty sick Spanish fly. I thought that was pretty great. The Riot Squad did some fucking phenomenal tag work in this match, dude. Phenomenal tag work. And Morgan screaming out, "Bring it, bitch," to Nia Jax. Just I died laughing. It was so funny.
Did you see the booty tap at the very beginning when like they were getting everybody situated on the ringside? Liv Morgan Pat's fucking
Oh,
Ruby
I
Riott.
missed that.
She legit like they're lining up and she's like walking up behind her. She smacks her on the ass and Ruby turns around like, "Who fucking hit me?"
Oh, I missed that. Fuck. That's hilarious. I love the two of them. They're great. They're great. But yeah, overall, I'll be honest, I didn't care for this match in like as a whole. There was some good stuff that happened in it, but as a whole, I didn't care for it that much. What about you?
Okay, so I'm gonna take it from the beginning. Like you said, I loved the fact that like you got a different look at the 5-on-5 than you got from the men. This one was evenly like back and forth the whole time. And like you said, I didn't like the fact that Lana was in the ring holding her own and then nobody wanted to tag her. Because like you said, if you don't want her in the match, that's the perfect way to get her the fuck out of the match. Because she had blind tagged herself in. Yeah. So there's your opportunity to get her back out. But instead, you're going to stare at her, let the fucking person she just beat down tag out, and then you're going to finally tag in and then be like, stand on the steps. Stand on the steps. I'm like, okay, King Henry, we fucking get it. Stand on the fucking steps.
Go eat another piece of cake.
Right? So then
King Henry joke.
The part that really upset me was that like Lana is an actress sometimes I don't feel like understands exactly like emotion she should be showing. Because there were a couple times where they panned at her while she's on the steps and she's just like,
well, I think she's trying to convey that she's sad that she's having to be there. She's like the pouty little kid who got sent to the corner.
Yes, and I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, man, okay.
And dude, she legit just stood there on those steps the whole time. I give her credit. She just stood there that whole time.
As the match is going down and people are getting eliminated, I'm like, okay, well, people are getting eliminated in a different order than I would have seen this happening. I would have thought Nia Jax would have been one of the first people out.
Really?
Excuse me. So when it came down to Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair, I was like, oh, this isn't fucking good. I'm like, she's going to crush both of them. And she crushed Morgan. And I was like, well, Bianca Belair obviously doesn't have a fucking chance. And God,
I'll be honest. When Morgan was in there, and Bianca wasn't up on the ringside yet, I was like, wait, did Bianca Belair get out? Like get knocked out?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, is it just Liv Morgan now?
Yeah.
I was like, no, there's no way this is how this is gonna end. And then she got back up on the ring. I was like, okay, like I totally missed that she wasn't out. Like I thought she was out or something.
In the back of my mind, I always kept remembering that Lana was on the steps.
See, I mean, I had the thought, I was like, you know what would be really funny is if all of the members of Raw get knocked out and Lana has to clean up the mess. Yeah, that was what I was like. That would be really kind of funny. Kind of like what happened in the men's where like Jay Uso was the last one. I mean, he didn't succeed, but I was like, it'd be really funny if then Lana just swept fucking house.
Well,
and showed that she deserved it.
Because I knew Lana was the sole survivor for Raw. And when it's playing out, I'm like, well, Liv Morgan just got eliminated.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you knew the winner of that match. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw that Liv Morgan got eliminated, I'm like, okay, Bianca Belair is going to somehow fucking pull out the stomps and Lana's going to come in and clean up an already like battle damaged Bianca Belair. Makes sense. And then we get the out of the ring action where like Bianca slams her into the steps and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, fucking yes. And then Bianca gets thrown into the fucking guardrail and I'm like, where the fuck is this going? The ref is up to 7. Yeah. And fucking Nia Jackson's like, and Bianca Belair's like, backdrop. And I was like, what the fuck? And the ref's like, 8. And I'm like, go. And then he's like, 9. And she's like, wait, what? And right as she's sliding in the ring, he's like, 10. And I was like, oh my fucking God. It's a double fucking count out, and that's how Lana gets the win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking brilliant. That is fucking brilliant.
It was.
Lana gets to the ring, and she's like, I'm the sole survivor. And I'm like, fucking bravo. That was good.
Yeah, I kind of love how it looks like they're doing with Lana here.
Yeah.
You know, I do kind of love that. And I love that she's the only one who earned her spot in this match and then became the sole survivor.
Yep.
And really didn't have to do much. Like, she fought a little bit at the beginning and showed that she could hold her own. But then that was it. She just had to stand there.
You know what they say? A little bit sometimes is more than enough.
Yeah. What did you think of Shayna getting DQ'd for not breaking that hold?
I mean, I figured something like that was going to happen because she wasn't letting go.
But I'm just like, why? Why would you be that? Like, she was essentially knocked out, right?
Yep.
So why be stupid and not break the hold when you could break the hold, pull her in the middle of the ring, lock it in again?
Yeah, and I thought that same thing because she was trying to justify it that she was knocked out. And I'm like, but you've got the ref in your face saying she's on the ropes and he's counting.
Yeah, that's all on her.
Re-pull her back in like you said and lock the move back in and it's fucking over.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, no, legit, because she was already out. And some of the stuff they did in the match it just didn't make sense.
Nope.
Like a normal logical person wouldn't do this.
No.
Because it hurts their win chance. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very sloppy. The whole match was very sloppy. I think. Like sloppily put together. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. But I do like the ending was pretty funny. So
agreed.
All right, so now it is time for the main event. Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, versus Drew McIntyre, the what Roman calls the placeholder for the WWE Championship. John, what do you think about these two powerhouses just showing their power?
This was a fucking battle and a great battle.
It started off a little slow, I thought, but it definitely picked up mid-match.
Now, one of the things that I think is really cool about this match, and they've been showing it over the last couple of weeks, is that Drew had said he was going to beat Randy Orton and take the championship back, and he did. But I love that when face-to-face, Drew McIntyre is clearly like 3 or 4 inches taller than Roman. And Roman is a big fucking dude.
Yeah,
so that
Drew is huge.
They're like, God damn, McIntyre is a tall motherfucker.
I don't know how tall he is, but I would be shocked if he's like fucking 6'4", 6'6", somewhere in that range. I don't know what his actual height is, but he's fucking tall, man.
I really thought this match was phenomenally put together once it started picking up its pace.
Yeah.
The only issue I had with this match, and it's a nitpick on my end, is the fact that Jey Uso interfered.
I get why though. It made total sense to me because
Go ahead, take it.
Because Jey Uso failed Roman earlier in the night.
Yes.
And Roman made that whole statement about, if you can't get them to respect you, then you don't have a place at the table and all that stuff, And so Roman, I feel like Jey felt the need to prove himself back to Roman.
But do you also think it might have been maybe he doesn't think he could have beat Drew on his own?
I don't necessarily think that he didn't think that Roman could beat Drew on his own. I think he saw, well, Drew's got the upper hand right now, and the ref is out. So I'm going to go out there and show my loyalty to the family.
Yeah,
that's the way I took it when I saw it. I understand why you would to
Yeah.
see it the way you did though. So
I think it also could have easily just as been Randy Orton coming out and RKOing Drew McIntyre.
No, absolutely. I could have seen that happen too. Yeah.
And the only reason I ask about the whole Jey Uso side of it, and I say I clearly could have seen Randy Orton coming out and RKOing Drew McIntyre. What if they had booked it slightly different and either Jay or Orton come out and it would have been somebody else we didn't even see coming? What if it would have been an out of left field? And let me blow your mind with this prediction. Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Seth Rollins gets eliminated immediately during his match when he's in the 5-on-5. And he says it's for the greater good, correct?
Yeah.
So, main event's happening. Ref gets knocked out. All of a sudden, here comes Seth Rollins, slides up in the ring, takes out both men. Not one, but both. Showing that he can stand tall over the champion still.
Okay.
Miz can come out and cash in if he wants. He's cashing in if he wants. I mean, that match wasn't for a championship anyway, but he could have had both titles essentially put on the line.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have done a lot of interesting stuff with that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So that match, I know why they didn't do any of that shit with that, but there was potential for a lot of different ways they could have went.
Yeah.
Understandably, they went with the Jey Uso side of it because it's the family angle, and it is what it is. Roman Reigns gets his win, his hand gets raised, his ego gets stroked.
Yeah. Okay, so with The Miz, what show is he on? Is he on Raw or SmackDown?
He's currently on Raw.
Okay, so that works perfectly. Like, why didn't he just come out after the match and try and win the title off of McIntyre? Like, why didn't he?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Like, McIntyre just lost this match.
Yep.
Like, I feel like that would have been a good opportunity.
With TLC, though, he'll make a title.
Yeah, I could see that.
Especially because of who they're talking about putting McIntyre up against at TLC.
Who are they talking about?
Braun Strowman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could dig that. I think that'd be a good match.
I think it'll be a great match too.
But yeah, this match, it was the war that they promised, I think.
Yeah.
There was one part of it that I could have done without, and that was the "this is awesome" and "you suck" chants. I don't like that they pipe these chants in. I really do not like it. They piped some chants in during the Taker thing, and I thought it worked. But during these matches, it's like, don't fucking tell me who sucks. I'll decide that.
I will say the piping chants has gotten better. It sounds more at least realistic.
Yeah, I guess, but I have no problem with the crowd noise. I have zero, or like when it gets louder because they're cheering harder. Like, I like that kind of stuff. But the "you suck,"
yeah,
this is awesome. Like, no, it just I was like, it just didn't work for me. It's like, like they've done it the last two pay-per-views. I've noticed it. They used both those chants in both pay-per-views, and it's like, you don't always hear those every pay-per-view.
No.
So stop piping them in every pay-per-view. Like, just stop. Like, use some subtle boos if you really want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boos go a long way too.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But the "you suck" chants, I'm getting kind of tired of it already. But that I don't know. I don't know how you feel about if you have as strong of an opinion about the.
I mean, I went off on it a couple shows ago, and I gave my full.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, during the last pay-per-view, I think we both went off about it, really, because I did not like that at all, and you really went off about it. So yeah.
So before we get into the farewell, we'll run down the list of things we usually do. Yeah. Because I know the farewell is like its own entity anyway. In your opinion, worst match of the night, sir?
Worst match of the night. I'll be honest, as we talked it, because I was torn, but as we talked through, I think I have to go with the Women's Survivor Series match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, between the botches and the illogical storyline that they did throughout it, like it had some really good stuff, but as a match, a whole composed unit, I think it was the weakest.
Wow. What
It was
was wrong?
it was between that and the Lashley match, even though I thought that it
That
was
is
the
the one
best
I chose.
Lashley match that we've seen in a long time. But as like I said, after talking through it with you, I swayed myself to the women's Survivor Series match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, see, I went with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley is my worst match of the night.
Yeah.
And it was a good match, but it just, to some of the other matches, it was not as well done.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
So, okay, so if that was your worst match of the night, was the women's 5-on-5, what would you say was the best match of the night?
Oh, easy. New Day versus Street Profits.
Ooh,
Easy. Easy
yeah.
for me. For me.
I
In a close second was the main event.
Fair, dude. That main event was worthy. However, I went with the women's 5-on-5.
Wow, really? Okay,
Dude, I was really.
I need to hear your reasoning for best match of the night.
That's what I said. We were really torn.
Best.
I'm like,
I gotta hear
so
what you gotta say about this.
from the backstage promo to the entrances to them being there, like the pat on the ass, the camaraderie of Team SmackDown going up against the broken Team Raw. I loved how it all played out. I love that I did not see the ending coming, even though I knew who won the match. I love that there was just this twist of like, holy shit, you've got these two small girls going up against a Sherman fucking tank. And I was like, how the hell are they going to make this look so fucking good that you're going to explain to me that fucking Lana wins this match? And they did.
Yeah.
And for fucking 2 minutes in that match, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God. And then when Bianca Belair dumped her over the fucking barricade, I was up out of my seat for legitness. It was like, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm fucking talking about. And then I wanted to slide back in the ring, and I was like, oh my God, Lana won. Lana won. Yes.
See, my reactions were never that intense at any point during that match.
That was the one match that legit brought me to that. Like, it made me feel like a kid again, man. I was like, and like, I love that there was the botch moment where Liv Morgan was like, legit, bring it, bitch. And I was like,
and that was hilarious. And I'm gonna say this right now. That was my moment of the night.
Okay, well, that was my next question. My
and it seems like a weird choice, but it got probably the most visceral response from me. Like because I didn't see that coming. It just came out of nowhere, and I just I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I loved it. It was hilarious. I don't know, and it made me just love Liv Morgan even more.
That's fair. My moment of the night was Lana winning for the 5-way.
Okay.
Because after all the shit she's been through for like the last 9 weeks,
yeah,
he pulls out the fucking W.
Yeah.
And it might not be like how everybody else would have envisioned somebody getting a win for the team. But in all fairness, the way I justified it was her team, her team made her stand there, and they didn't want to respect her. It was their fault she was standing there. She could have been eliminated first out, and they would have been screwed. But instead, they made her stand on the steps, and she can answer the 10 count. Therefore, she won for Team Raw. So kudos to Lana.
Kudos. So, John, who is your MVP?
Okay, you're going to laugh at me for this one. But I chose the man that we were celebrating for 30 years on this night.
Yes.
The gobbledygooker. Because for 30 years, this man has been a silent person, and in one night, he becomes a WWE champion. The gobbledygooker.
Is that legit your choice? Oh my goodness.
That is legit my choice. I stand by that. I love how you thought about The Undertaker.
You
It's
pulled an
worth
R-Truth on me. You pulled an R-Truth on me.
And like legit too, I'm like, yeah, the man was celebrating 30 years about. And you're like, yeah, respectable. But gobbledygook, you're like, no.
I mean,
Beautiful.
I even up till right now, like I'm still like, I don't know who I would choose as the MVP. Because some people stood out to me, like Sami Zayn, for instance, did such a good job in that match. You know, what Lana had to do in that match, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, I kind of dig the idea of the gobbledygooker. Like I was almost leaning just toward the Undertaker because it was his night. You know what I mean? Shit. You know what? I think you sold me. You know what?
I like it when I can make
MVP of the night, baby. Gobbledygooker.
I like it when I can make the hard sell.
Oh, damn. Because, I mean, like I said, I was super on the fence about, like, I had no idea who I was going to pick for that. I really had no idea.
I was legit. Like, the moment it happened, I'm like, I don't give a shit what else happens tonight. That's the MVP right there. Like,
dude, I love it. And part of me hopes that he comes back.
He probably won't, but I mean, it is what it is.
Maybe he should be there every Survivor Series just because.
Hell yeah. I agree. I mean, even if it's not because of just the fact he's a giant turkey.
Yeah. You know, he should just always be there now. And that's what we should see.
So let's talk about the final farewell. The 30-year celebration of the career of the dead man.
Okay, so I would like to start off. And I would like to say how disappointing they handled this. So, they made this big deal. It's going to be the final farewell leading up to this big deal. They showed a package during the pre-show. And then I forgot that it was even happening until the end of the night. Because they didn't talk about it at all.
Nope.
Now, the thing itself was like 40 minutes long. I literally watched the timer on this. 20 minutes of it, the first half, was them parading all these people out. And I wrote everybody's names down here. Hold on one quick second. Because there was a ton of people. Okay, so in order, I went Shane McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, The Godfather, The Goodwins, Savio Vega, who I haven't fucking seen in forever, Rikishi, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Kane. Now, nobody says anything. Nothing.
Nope.
Kane comes out. They cut to the package of the one that they showed during the pre-show. Okay. Them coming out, that package was the first half of this whole thing. 20 minutes of that. Then they come back. And the Undertaker comes out. He is introduced by Vince McMahon. And not a single fucking person who came into that ring is ever shown again. What was the fucking point of that? Of that 15 minutes of parading all these fucking people out to celebrate the Undertaker? All they were doing was getting fucking screen time. They didn't celebrate the Undertaker. All they fucking did was show their face. It's not like they all got in the ring and then they passed a mic around. They all told like a little story about, you know, what the Undertaker meant to them. No, they didn't do any of that. And they never showed back up. Now, what I think that should have been going on is throughout the entire night, in between matches, everything, you show a small promo break with people talk, like, so they had that big promo video. Make a bunch of smaller versions of that instead. So you have some footage of his career with past and present superstars talking about what The Undertaker means to them. And do that throughout the whole night. Make the entire Survivor Series event about the legacy of The Undertaker. Then you get these people out there. Fuck, I'll be honest, they didn't need to parade them all out one by one. I mean, it's cool to hear all those musics again, but they didn't need to do that. And they could have had some of those people be videos of them talking about, so like the Goodwins. Like, no offense to the Goodwins, but I didn't really care. They could have done a video and shown it throughout the night of the Goodwins. I'd be like, oh shit, it's the Goodwins. Cool. Okay. And shown that through the night. Saved some time. Because, like I said, that end thing was 40 minutes. The first half, there was no Undertaker. There was that package, but there was no actual Undertaker. Then his entrance literally took 9 minutes. 9 minutes for him to get from the ramp to the ring. And I get it. Undertaker's entrance is long, and I'm used to that. But he only had 20 minutes left, and half of it went to his entrance.
Yep.
And he barely says anything when he's in the ring.
Yep.
Barely talks about his career, doesn't really talk about anything. Just essentially says goodbye. And then they miss out on doing the one thing that they should have done, in my opinion. He gets out of the ring, he goes up the ramp, he does the hand up in the air, and right there's what should have happened. The light should have went out, and then the light should have came back on, and it should have just been the coat and the hat, and he was gone. And that's it. That's what this night should have been. And I was very, very disappointed in how the final farewell for The Undertaker just sucked. Now I have went on. John, what did you think?
So I'm on the same wavelength as you. I really felt disappointed by the farewell. I'm going to start with the same place you did, in the fact that they brought out all of the people. Now, I thought it was really cool that as they were bringing these people out, they were talking how certain people had certain connections to The Undertaker and why.
Yeah.
Diesel lost it, like WrestleMania, whatever. Jeff Hardy, 2002, the ladder match.
Yeah.
Which they would go back in a SmackDown match and have a Extreme Rules match with one another years later, and it was just as good.
Yeah.
The Godwins. It wasn't just the Godwins, though. One of the Godwins went on to become Midian of the ministry. Yeah. I thought it was a well-done ceremony, bringing everybody to the ring. Agreed with Josh, though. I think that they should have at least talked and given their side of the reasons, like, why the Taker was so important to them. As well as throughout the night, there should have been current superstars talking about what Undertaker's done for their career.
Yeah.
Taker is a fucking cornerstone in the pillar of wrestling. And it's shitty that his final farewell was 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that once they rolled the video package, everybody was gone. I told Josh, I think they should have been lumberjacked around the ring. Vince McMahon takes the microphone. Vince McMahon says his piece. Ladies and gentlemen, The Undertaker. The Undertaker does his thing. Now, the one thing I thought was really cool, they had the electric things that started out the death march. I thought that was really fucking cool because I'd never seen that done.
Like, seeing it was cool. However, they did like this weird fucking version of his theme before the gongs, and I'm like, I do not like that at all. No. Not at all. I was really happy that that wasn't all they did, or that wasn't the entire theme, like done like that, because I would have been real upset about that. But I wrote that in my notes. I was like, I did not like that at all.
So then Taker gets down to the ring, and like Josh said, nobody's down there to celebrate. And Taker's, I've memorized this now, and it bugs me that I can memorize this because it was so short. After all the fucking piped-in crowd chants of Undertaker, thank yous, the crowd cheering, Taker says this: I have buried a lot of souls in my career, and now I bury myself. done.
Yeah.
Fucking lights go darker. He turns, strikes the famous pose. The eyes go back. And I cried because they did the hologram and the, oh, yes! And there was Paul there with the urn. And I fucking cried real.
Actually,
I'm welling up right now.
I think I want to change my moment of the night to that.
That's fair.
You know, like thinking back, it's like I kind of separated the farewell from the rest of the show because it felt very separated.
Oh, it was very separated.
It felt very separated. But that Paul Bearer thing, dude, that was fun. Like, and I knew that it happened.
Yeah,
like, I knew that they did a hologram of Paul Bearer.
Yeah,
and even though I knew it was coming, I still wasn't prepared for it. You know, no. it was fantastic.
It hit me right in the fucking heart, man. Like I was like, oh my God. Like I said, I'm tearing up right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because Taker has been, I don't give a shit if you were a brand new fan of professional wrestling or if you've been a fan as long as I and Josh have been fans. Undertaker at some point in your lifetime has been that guy that you looked up to. Or in my case, I was afraid of him for a long time. And it was because of the lights going out and he would stand on the corner and he would raise those hands and the lights would come back on. When you're a kid, you don't know wrestling's fake and that shit's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. But
overall, I thought the farewell was lackluster. I really thought it should have been something more than him. And I mean, his promo was short. And I get it. He was having an emotional moment. Like, that's the last time Undertaker is ever going to be in the ring. But damn. I just want to say, I don't know how wrestling is going to move on without the dead man. I know he's pretty much a part-time retired guy now anyway, but I looked up to him when I first started out in the business because I was a big guy and he was a big guy and there's not many big guys to look up to. So for what it's worth, man, I mean, thank you for everything that you've given the business and thank you for 3 years of awesome fucking memories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Undertaker he's been a staple, you know, in this business. And whether he's, you know, appearing weekly or yearly, it didn't matter. You know, you always enjoyed seeing him there, you know. And the thought that that's not going to be a thing anymore, it's kind of heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I hope that he continues to do stuff like on the network. Like the Tales of the Dead Man or whatever, where he was like telling stories. I thought that was fucking cool as shit. And I want more of that. I'd love more of that, man. Just like him telling fucking stories about his time in the business. I think it'd be awesome. You know,
I
or
would
like
an actual documentary on him now. Not years of footage finally released, just him now, Mark Calloway.
30 years of The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'd love something like that. That'd be fantastic. You know what else I'd love to see him do? Revisit his old matches and like do commentary, just be filmed watching his old matches.
Yep.
And just tell us stories about it. You know, like what was happening during that time.
Dude, I would want to see him definitely do a couple of his matches with Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Because for as much as people shit on Yokozuna for always being that big guy, he has nothing positive to say or nothing but positive things to say about Yoko. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be missed, you know, and like I said, I hope he finds a way to continue to be around. So
you know what I'm gonna do for our fans tonight?
What are you gonna do?
Let me do this. Oh.
Nice. Yeah, it hurts my eyes to do that, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I already threw the arm up earlier, so yeah, that's good.
You did. I gave the eye roll. You gave the arm up.
But yeah, definitely, and he deserved a better goodbye, in my opinion.
I don't think it helps that they didn't have any fans though either, because the fans would have.
Yeah. I get that, but like they piped in the thank you Taker and all that stuff, and I kind of loved that. I really did. I thought it worked really well because you didn't see the Thunderdome. You know what I mean? You couldn't see the crowd, so you couldn't tell that they're not actually chanting that. So it's just darkness and the chants. And I'm like,
True.
I actually really dug it. It's just everything else about it, like spending 20 minutes parading people out that didn't do anything.
Nope.
Instead of actually celebrating him throughout the night. Like, it's such a missed opportunity. And I'm so bummed about that. This could have been the best fucking night of the year.
Absolutely.
Like, it could have been. Like, if they played it right with the Taker stuff, all the matches that maybe were lackluster wouldn't have mattered, because it would have been a great fucking tribute to the Undertaker.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it is what it is. 30 years have passed, and I guess we move on to see what happens in wrestling for the next 30 years, right? We'll see what happens.
That is true. Maybe in another 30 years, Gobbledygooker will get a second title win.
Yes, man. We'll get a in another 30 years, we'll get a 60-year special about the Gobbledygooker.
Yes.
Dude, if the Gobbledygooker is still rocking around 60 years later, shit, man. That's wild, and I'd love it. Me and you are in our 60s, like, oh, shit, it's the Gobbledygooker. Yeah, that'd be good stuff. All right, so I think that about wraps it up. Is there anything else you would like to talk about real quick before we kind of wrap things up?
How about you tell our devoted fans where can they find you?
Well, real quick, I want to say something.
Oh, okay.
Christmas is coming up, and both John and I still want the Bray Wyatt Fiend doll.
Oh yeah, we do.
So if you guys are interested in spreading the Christmas cheer, you can send me $20 at Cash App. You can send in my cash tag right here, Merc Trader 22, or for Mr. Johnny Boy, cash tag JMade1. That's right.
Oh my god. Oh, you gotta tell me to do shit like that.
Oh, it was way funner to get your reaction just off the rim. But
listen,
for
all
me,
I'm saying is if you don't want to spend the $20 on the Bray Wyatt doll, they have a deluxe replica Bray Wyatt mask on the WWE shop.com for $99. I'll take that.
If you're not willing to send us $20, you can buy me something for $100.
I mean, I'm just saying it's $99. It's a deluxe replica. Everybody knows I'm a fucking Firefly. Let him in.
Dude, you might as well just go for broke. Hey, get him the Bray Wyatt custom title. If the Black Friday sale price is still up there, it was like $299. If not, it's like $429. There you go.
Oh,
but you can follow me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR, or right down there at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my website, Merc with a Movie Blog, where I do movie reviews, podcasts, all that kind of good stuff. You can check me out, mercwithmovieblog.com, on Twitter at Movie Blog Merc. John, where can the fine people find you?
Right here on Twitter. It's Simply Sane J1. Also, don't forget to check out my podcast called Simply Sane with Jay. It's the Not Your Mama's podcast where I talk about, well, myself. And every once in a while, I get someone to pop in for a surprise visit.
That's
now,
true.
If you're asking yourself, what could Jay possibly want for Christmas this year? I'm keeping it simple. The only thing I've asked for so far was a Scottish flag so I can hang in my house. Besides the Bray Wyatt doll, obviously. Just saying.
Yes.
People are listening. I'm a very simple person to shop for. I don't want expensive things. I don't need the $99 deluxe replica mask for Bray Wyatt. I don't need the $20 Bray Wyatt doll that Josh will clearly pop back up on his screen one more time just because why not?
Yeah,
I mean, look at him. He's adorable. He is adorable, people.
He is honestly, adorable.
You want to drop $3-4 into my Cash App so I can get a coffee in the morning? I mean, you drop $3-4 in there, tell me who it's from, and I will buy you a coffee in return because that is how good deeds are done. Pay it
and you'll also get a shout out on the show.
Just absolutely. Saying. You'll get a shout out on the show and maybe a Christmas card in the mail.
Yeah, I mean, I got some random Christmas cards I can
Josh
send to
will
people.
send you a Christmas card.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
But only
this
if I get something in my Cash App right here.
not a shameless little plug. Oh,
But also be sure to check us out, Off the Ropes, on
yeah.
Twitter. You can see it right down there, at Off the Ropes JJ, on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on Anchor as well, Off the Ropes JJ. We also have a Patreon, so if we start getting some people there, we'll start doing some cool content for that.
Also,
Again,
don't forget that if you're on YouTube, all of the original Off the Ropes are over there, where you can check out old school history lessons that we were teaching, kind of. We have some cool interviews from people such as Goldberg. I believe Matt Hardy made it on one of them. We've got Bone Crusher Sway. Oh, actually, we got both the Bone Crushers on there. I believe we tried to get our Brittany Force one on there.
I think, yeah, that one's on there. Yeah.
But the one person that never did give us an interview was you, Nunzio, because you're a fucking cocksucker.
You know what? Sucks to be him. Well, probably doesn't. I mean, whatever. But yeah, so that has been episode 19 of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are down for the count. Catch you guys later.